it's on the chin. Just keep your head down and carry on. You fight like hell, turn the other cheek. It's what separates the strong from the weak. And that's just the way that the line gets drawn. You gotta keep on living till the fight is gone.
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of 10 Minute Misconduct, the unofficial SPHL podcast. As always, I am Lee, and I'm being joined by Anna.
Hey guys.
And we have a special announcement. We have officially the newest contributor to Pro Hockey News, Ed. Welcome.
Hello.
And congratulations.
Yes, big congratulations.
Congratulations on that. We like we've been saying, we said last week, Pro Hockey News is looking for contributors, and Ed, you're number one.
Yay! I am number one. Yay!
Better than being number two.
Absolutely. Number one smells a lot better than two, I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, and we had a great Christmas episode last week. I want to thank every single player, coach, everybody that sent in a video for us. I want to thank all of you. That was perfect. It was a great way to end a perfect episode.
Thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I know that it really means a lot more to the fans than I think a lot of people realize. So for the ones that were able to do that, that was so great of you.
Yeah, and today we have, of course, our last episode of the year. We have from the Port Huron Prowlers, Gino Mitty is going to be joining us, and can't wait to get him in and get to talking.
Absolutely not. Great guy from Port Huron. Actually grew up in the Blue Water area. I went to Richmond High School and all that stuff. And then he'll probably tell us more about it when he gets on. So did you guys have a good holidays, a good Christmas? Did you guys get everything you wanted?
I got something I've wanted since I was a kid. I always wanted a Hanson Brothers Johnstown Chiefs jersey. And
what?
My wife, I can't thank her enough. My allergies were running full time when I got this. This was a dream come true for me to get this jersey, and I couldn't say how happy I was when I opened it up. My wife Diana, she knocked it out of the park. I love that. I love this jersey, and it's always the cliche, you love you more every day. My love for her grew 10 times when I got this jersey. She knew I always wanted it.
Aww.
I didn't have to ask. She didn't ask me what I wanted. She just got it for me. I got to give her a shout out. This was the best Christmas present I've ever gotten from her.
That's so awesome. I love that.
And Anna, you got something hockey related for Christmas from John.
Yeah, I did. And honestly, same. The love for him. Like I didn't have to ask him for this, and I was actually very surprised. I'll never forget the day that Tampa for their season opener, and my favorite player is Andre Vasilevsky. He's their Tampa's first string goalie, and when he came out on the ice, I lost my shit, and John had just got home from work, and I was just like, I'll talk to you in a minute. And I remember he put up a Facebook post. He's like, I was more excited to see Vassy than I was him. And a little bit, only because it had been, the whole off season I'd been waiting, but he got me a signed puck by him, and I lost my shit. I was over the moon, jumping up and down. It was definitely the coolest gift I think I've ever gotten. So thank you, John. You're the best.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Ed got a crappy present. He got COVID.
And a blizzard.
Yeah, just a little bit of that, but I got a pretty good, cool gift. It's not hockey related, but you all know my other favorite obsession I have during the summertime. That's camping and all that stuff. So my wife got me a cool little solar powered generator, so we can always have our tablet charged or our phone charged out in the woods. So that was pretty cool. Love you, Amy. Thank you very much for that awesome gift.
Man, it looks like we've got good. What? I was about to say that's the gift that keeps on giving. I'd love to have that on a camping trip.
Oh yeah.
Now, there's no excuse why I can't do a podcast while I'm out in the woods.
Truth.
No excuse. I'll have all the power in the world by the sun.
And speaking of not being able to do the podcast, Taylor, we are missing you again tonight. He has to work, so we don't want you to ever think that we forgot about you. So we will see you hopefully next week.
We'll see him sometime next year.
Yeah, maybe next
Yeah,
year.
yeah, maybe, yeah. But we want to see it till next year, right?
Yeah,
What,
the damn
what? A
Thunder
couple
trip.
days, it's gonna be New Year's Day and all that stuff, and coming up. So yeah. Any resolutions that you guys have?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question.
Hmm. I need to try to
Ooh.
curse less, I think.
Oh, not me.
First, let's fuck you.
Not me.
Yeah, I need to work on it. You know, I'm not a trucker anymore, so I kind of need to get rid of the trucker language. You know, try to get a few more f bombs out. You know, little.
All right, next time I'm not gonna send you a coffee bag. I'm gonna send you a swear jar. Okay, we can build
Yeah,
on that.
yeah. Maybe we'll start doing that on the show. So,
There you
but
go.
without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to Gino Mitty and get this on the road.
All right. Well, today on the show, straight from our town of Port Huron here, we have Gino Mini that plays for the Port Huron Prowlers. Welcome to the show, Gino.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hey, you're welcome. So, what do you think about being on the team up here in Port Huron and playing for SPHL?
I enjoy it a lot. I had a little bit of a break there in my career, and one of my good buddies, Austin Federley, that plays for Port Huron, he reached out to me and asked me, what my thoughts were on coming back to skate, and kind of refound my love for the game. So I've enjoyed it a lot. I like I like Graham and Johnny, and I love the fans. So it's been a fun time so far.
That's awesome. You said Austin, right? I
Yeah,
know his
Austin.
uncle
Yeah.
Paul. He has a
Yep,
great uncle Paul that works at the Meyer down the road here.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, we actually played juniors together a long time back. Believe it or not, my rookie year we played on Lambton Predators in the Greater Ontario Junior Hockey League. So that's where I
Really?
met him originally. Yep, we go way back.
And the GOJHL?
Yep.
So you know about the Legionnaires and all that stuff. I like to go
Oh
over
yeah.
and watch
Yep.
them play that. So that's pretty
Yep.
awesome. And then what? You went after you went high school in Richmond, correct?
Yep. I went to Richmond High School, about 30 minutes outside of Port Huron.
Yep. And then what? Where'd you go afterwards? I think Oakland or something like that.
Yeah. I played AAA for Sarnia Sting over in Canada, and then played in the Goach from there, and then I played 3 years at Oakland University. So.
That's
You had
awesome.
a bit of a rough start with your pro career, starting out with Battle Creek.
Yeah, that
Can you
was.
tell us what? I mean, I felt bad for almost anybody on a team. Can you tell us what it was like being with that organization for even just a little time you were?
Yeah, for starts, I had left my junior year of college to pursue pro. I knew my AAA coach had a relationship with one of the Huntsville coaches, and I went down to a free agent camp there, and I ended up getting selected for a training camp. So I was there for a little bit, played 2 preseason games, and then I got released. And I thought to myself, man, maybe I made a mistake. I should have just stayed in school and played my senior year. So I went to Columbus actually, and then they traded me back to Battle Creek, and I just went home and took like a week and a half, just deciding if I could do it. And I was like, whatever, let's see how it is for, the time being. And I went there, and it was bad. I mean, the setup was bad. The housing was bad. No disrespect to the people involved. They were trying to work with what they had, but the living situation wasn't great. We didn't even technically really even have our own locker room. There were a couple days out of the week where we had to, 2 of the rookies would have to go to the locker room and pack everything up and take everything out, and a high school team would go in there. So we technically shared it with them, and the busing was bad, and we were just a bad team, no leadership, no coaching, just bad all around. So I figured, for the time being, I was getting a lot of playing time and power play time. And I just thought if I just kept my nose to the grindstone, didn't worry about anything else, just worried about myself, that I could get picked up in a short period of time. And sure enough, I think I played about 10 games there, and my GM brought me in and said, we have a trade offer from Carolina and Elmira. And at the time, they were the 2 best teams in the league. So I said, send me to either one. And called me back in about an hour later and said you're traded to Elmira. So the rest is history from there.
That's cool.
Would you say that maybe that trade to Elmira almost saved your career in a way?
Yeah, I do think players went to Battle Creek to die, because, like you said, it was such a stain on your resume, and Brett Clark was the coach, and I owe him a lot for taking a chance on me, and it definitely saved my career to go from a team like Battle Creek to a team like Elmira, who at the time was averaging the most fans, and we were on an incredible win streak when I got there. I think we won like 28 out of 30 games or something like that, and it was just a good organization to be a part of. So definitely strengthened my resume for sure to for other teams, or if I wanted to pursue the SP again or something like that. So
I gotta tell you, as a Columbus fan, you're one of the players that you hate to play against, but you're the kind of guy that you would love to have on your team.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you saying that, man. I think Columbus is a good team. I think they're a good organization. They got good players, tough players. They're team tough for sure. Funny story, actually. When I came back to play, if you notice on my elite prospects, I have 2 games played for Danbury, and I had some buddies on Danbury previously from Elmira, and they reached out to me, asked me if I wanted to play, and for a couple $100, and I hadn't played in like 7 months since then. I was going to retire, and I was like, yeah, you know what, why not? They owned my rights at the time, and I played those 2 games, and once they released me on waivers, when they found out I wasn't going to come play for them, Croopy actually reached out to me because Columbus picked me up on waivers, and they were trying to get me to come down and play for them. And for the time being, I just couldn't do it with school and all that. But it was a nice gesture for sure.
Speaking of that, Columbus, how'd that win last week feel against Columbus?
It feels good. I mean, I from when I was on Elmira, we always had a decent record against Columbus. Port Huron, not so much. They seem to go at it pretty good. I know from personal experience, we definitely don't have the best record playing in Columbus. It's always tough to get a win there, but again, they're a good hockey team, good organization. So when you can put a beating on the number 1 team, it definitely feels good. So I'm sure these games coming up tomorrow and Friday will be a bloodbath. So I'm looking forward to it.
About that game,
Yeah,
did you know what happened in the stands at the close end of the game with Greco, I believe?
I did not personally. I think I heard something that it was possibly Greco's dad involved. I have no idea who started it or what happened. I just know that I was on the ice and I looked up and there was a bunch of people in a huddle going nuts and Columbus bench going nuts. So it was a little distracting while I'm trying to play defense.
Now, you guys, when that game you won, see, I mean, people are going to disagree with the penalties, but to take advantage of basically 2 full minutes of 5-on-3, a 5-minute power play, was that something that maybe lights a spark under your team, getting that power play going against arguably the best team in the league?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Port Huron has had a bit of a struggle these last 2 years with their power play, specifically, and sometimes it can be a momentum killer. When you try to get in the zone and the other team just ices the puck down, and you just do that for 2 minutes straight. So I think our team's power play is definitely clicking these last 3-4 weeks, and to be able to, like you said, go out and take advantage of that and put, I don't even know, I think it was like 4 goals in 2.5 minutes, something ridiculous like that. I mean, it was, as a team, you're feeling invincible at that point. So definitely a good feeling.
And to do it against, arguably one of the best goalies in the league,
Yeah, absolutely. Bailey McBurney, undoubtedly a great goalie. And he's got good defense, good forwards in front of him, guys that hustle and play hard. So yeah, for sure, for the floodgates to open like that, it's definitely out of characteristic for Bailey McBurney. But as long as they're going in the net, we don't care how.
It's like the old saying: they don't ask how, they ask how many, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
What do you think has changed from the beginning of the season till now, it seems like, again, I know we just talked about the power plays, but it does seem like there's been an uptick in winnings for Port Huron here recently, more so than in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at the beginning when we were kind of struggling there, we were asking ourselves that same question. I think on paper our team looks incredibly strong. You know, we have guys that have great resumes and guys that have played a lot of places and been around the league a long time. We have great rookies too. If you look at their resumes, and I think that the last month, the noticeable difference for myself at least is that we've been playing more team tough. I think before we were a little shy and timid and maybe scared a little bit, and now I think that some of the younger guys have acclimated a little bit. I think we're finishing hits and sticking up for guys, and guys that typically wouldn't fight on our team are, going and grabbing a guy if they think that somebody's taking liberties on them, and I think just all around playing team tough, which is making us play harder and finding the pucks in the back of the net. I think the takeaway from Columbus, I think they play team tough. I think they don't have guys that are scared on their team. I think they play hard and they use that to their advantage. They got smaller guys on their team like Kelly and other guys, and they take runs at me, and they're not scared. And I think when you show the other team that I'm going to go out and hit your biggest guy, and I don't care who he is, I think it sends a message. So I think that's been helping us, able to find some wins here. So.
Do you think the fact that Columbus has guys like Schmidt and Ozolinch on the team, or at least on the bench, do you think that gives the smaller guys a little bit more confidence to go out there and go after a guy like you, knowing they have
Oh
you to
yeah,
back them up?
yeah, for sure. I think 100%. It's definitely an intimidation factor for sure when you see guys like that on the other team. I mean, I fought both those guys, and they're both tough guys, and I think that even players I've played with in the past, like for example, Blake Peavy plays on Carolina now. We spent a year together in Elmira. He this summer randomly reached out to me, telling me how awesome it was for him to have me on his team and how he could just go out and do his thing and not have a care in the world and blah blah blah. So it does make a difference for sure. And you might second guess yourself if you think you're going to go lay a guy out and you look up and you see Ozo or Schmidt on the ice, and in the back of your head you got to answer the bell. So definitely makes a difference. I think it also keeps the game safer for that matter. When guys like me and Schmidt and Ozo are on the ice, I think it's a little bit more of a cleaner hockey game for that matter too. So
Can you tell us what happened that game? You had the big comeback. They're in the tunnel after the second period when Ozo was going after. Can you tell us what happened there? Do you know what was going on? What started all that?
I got there a little late, but from my understanding, I think that typically Port Huron would get off the ice first, and I think when Bailey McBurney and Ozolich got off the ice, I don't think that they meant anything by it or it was intentional by any means. I just think that they were right there by the door, so they just went to get off. And I think one of our players had mentioned, what are you doing? We go first, and we've all seen it before. Ozo can snap pretty quick, so I'm sure that lit a spark under him, and yeah, I guess they just traded blows for a second there, and I came up on the after fact, but I have no idea about any other specifics on that. All I know is we got a 5-minute power play out of it.
Would you contribute to the fact that Ozo wasn't on the ice for that penalty kill, possibly that gave you a little bit more of an advantage when the bigger guy, the bigger defenseman for their PKs off the ice for 5 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. If you're a big body like myself or Ozo, especially Ozo, I mean, he's probably the tallest player in the league, I'm sure. But it makes it a little more difficult on 5-on-3s to get those shots through. And if you can have that long stick, it's can be tough to get that puck to go to high from low to the bumper guy and in the back of the net. So it is possible that gave us an advantage there. I have no idea. I mean, but it is possible for sure.
I know, like, it's important, Huron. We've done it with, like, the player coach type thing and all that stuff. Would you like to see a actual positioned head coach on the bench per se, or is it clicking pretty well with having Matt Graham out there as a coach and player at the same time, or would you like to see a stationary coach on the bench?
I think what we're doing is clicking. I mean, obviously we've been winning games, and I think we're on a 4-game win streak now and climbing the standings here. So I enjoy having Matt Graham play and coach. I mean, I would personally want my son to play for Matt Graham. I think he's a good coach. I think he has a good understanding of the game. And on top of it, I personally think he's our best forward. I mean, he plays hard. He plays with an edge, and he gets points. So he finishes his checks. He fights. Graham does it all. I mean, you can ask our captain Dustin Henner. He'll say the same thing. We love the way Graham plays. So I guess to have him stand full time on the bench, it would be a loss to the team, I think, too, because I think he still has great playing ability. So I think it's clicking for us, and it's maybe unorthodox to see a player coach, but if it works, it works, right?
And I was going to say, maybe not in this league. I know that I believe Pace did that for a while. And then
Yep.
I know, there's some other like assistant coaches and stuff like that are also players. I think Croop and Parker Moskal. So,
Yep.
it might
Yep,
even
for
become a
sure.
more common thing.
Yeah, I played for Ahmed Mahfouz my second year. He was our player coach. I mean, it was a short season. I think we only played 25 games. The year we lost to Columbus in the playoffs, but Foose probably played maybe 6 to 8 games around there. But he was doing both, standing behind the bench and playing. So it's not uncommon for me, and it might be a little weird for new players in the league to see a guy skating around full gear with a whistle, I'm sure. But I mean, like I said, if it works, it works. I like it. I respect Graham. I respect Johnny. I think they have a good understanding of the game. So
I think you might be the first player we've had that actually played. I call it the COVID year, the Ignite Cup season. Can you kind of tell us what it was like? What was the most different thing about that whole season? I'm sure it was kind of like being in a twilight zone in some parts.
yeah, I mean that season in general. I mean, the guys that, like you said, that were fortunate enough to play that year. We always talk about how that's the best the Federal Hockey League has ever been and probably will ever be. I mean, it was. I mean, if I'm being honest, even with the ability that I was bringing to Elmira, I was nervous about my job every single day because I mean the league was good. I mean, it was essentially the best players in the Fed, and then a combination of SP guys and East Coast guys. I like, as far as like resume strength goes, I probably had the weakest resume on my team, and to be able to stick it out for a full season and get a shot at a championship was something I'm very grateful for. But yeah, it was a weird season. It was originally we were supposed to play a like 20 game season against Watertown or something like that, and that didn't fall through. And then we were all just kind of waiting around for about a week, and we had a team meeting, and we thought we were all just going to be sent home. And I remember Foose walked in, he slammed a calendar against our locker room wall, and we had games against Port Huron in a week, and and we were going to play a 25 game season. So it was a lot of fun. It was weird at the same time, playing that many teams like over and over again. But and plus with Carolina only playing away games, that was odd for them to not play at their rink. But yeah, it was fun. It was super competitive hockey. I was glad I could be a part of it. I mean, there's great players. I mean, if you go back and look at guys' resumes from that time frame, there, I mean, there's a ton of guys that are playing in that league that are full-time East Coast players now. So it was definitely a good league, definitely something weird to be a part of, but I'm glad I was a part of it.
Yeah, as a fan, it was exciting to watch.
Yeah,
Especially
absolutely.
that final series between you and Columbus. I was actually down with COVID when that was going down, so I guess I could say thank you, because watching you guys in the finals that season really kind of helped me get through COVID, just enjoying good playoff and good championship hockey.
Yeah, there wasn't. I would say there probably wasn't as much like grittiness or fighting as you would typically see in the Fed, just because you couldn't really waste the spot on on a guy, like you couldn't just fight. You had to bring something to the table. So I was lucky enough where I could play and fight and bring other things to the table just in that, because again, it was such a good, year that year. But, yeah, the playoffs was fun. I mean, it was heartbreaking for us. I mean, Columbus put the beat down in the championship game, but, it was fun to be a part of it. So,
Yeah, one
So
thing
yeah,
that I always appreciated about Port Huron, I know as a Columbus fan, a lot of people say our rivalry team is going to be Carolina, and in a lot of ways it is. I love talking shit to their fans because, they get mad and we get, I don't know, it's a good back and forth. But I would say the Port Huron players are probably one of my favorite teams that always would chirp back from the penalty box. Like most of the time, the guys would, and
yeah.
I was kind of harsh when I was there. I believe, was it Quentin Broseboom that played for, it was the Prowlers, I think,
Um,
that season, 2 seasons
Maybe
ago.
it might have been before. Yeah, it might have been before I was there.
Grossman, I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
he's the first hockey player to ever put me in my place, so to speak. So I'll never forget Port Huron for that. But I remember after the games, like the guys coming out and just, I don't know, your team seems to have a good dynamic for its fans.
Yeah, there's some interesting characters for sure. I mean, if I'm being honest, I used to absolutely despise Matt Graham when I played against him. We used to go at it all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've been thrown in the penalty box with him, going after him. So for him to reach out, for me to come play for him, it was pretty bizarre. I didn't know if I was going to walk into that locker room and get my head ripped off or not, but they were super welcoming, and it's like you said earlier, Lee, that it's the guys that you hate playing against that you love to have on your team. So there's definitely some interesting characters. I try to refrain from engaging with the fans and stay focused on the game, but some guys are they don't have as much control on their emotions, I guess you could say, and engage back a little bit, but it's part of hockey, so.
Absolutely. I think it really could even fuel, like, and like you said, instead of lashing out back at the fans, it might like light the fire under your ass to, change the whole course of the game by coming out of the penalty box.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even that road trip we went on, I had a stage fight with Schmidt, and it was a quick one, but we were down 4-0, and we were able to come back to make it 4-3 in a short matter of time. So, I mean, anything could get a spark going. It could be a fan interaction or whatever. But like I said, I try to refrain from it. But some guys engage, and again, it's having thick skin as a hockey player, I think, is important. And the fans, I don't think they mean anything personable by it. They're just yelling and trying to get a laugh, and trying to get the whole experience. So
I always enjoy when I can produce a chirp that actually like makes somebody laugh, and they're like, "Oh, that's a good one."
yeah, I appreciate that too. I think I took note of a couple of people sent me a picture of me and Alex Johnson standing side by side on the Columbus bench. It says Mini Johnson. So I'm
There you go.
I'm
Yeah.
all for it. So I definitely appreciated that. I think that was pretty creative. So
Yeah, that I know we have our
that,
trash talk. We have our Facebook trash talk group. That was our cover photo for about
yeah,
2 weeks.
my old man got a good laugh out of that too. So it's all in fun. It's that's what I think makes the sport great. So
Definitely.
It's probably nice to like also play for you. You still live like with being friends with Austin Federley and all that stuff. You're and went to school in Richmond. You know areas at like the Blue Water area up here and all that stuff.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
as a player, is it nice to you for you to like play close to home, or would you like to play a little bit farther away from home?
No, I'm enjoying this. Honestly, if I could go back and do it again, I would finish school first and then maybe strive for the Southern Pro League a little more, or try to advance my career more. But I have a good setup here. I'm able to stay at home and finish up school and work and all that, and make money on the side. So it's a nice setup for sure. But again, like I said, I would finish school back. When I came back, it was tough to turn down a lot of calls from some SP teams and even some more elite Fed teams. Just for that reason of school. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, God, like, where the hell were you guys 2 years ago when I was trying my ass off to get to that league? And now I got to tell you no. But no, I like Port Huron a lot. It's only, like I said, 30-minute drive from my house, and I'm able to stay here with my family and play the game I love with some good close friends. So.
You're going to school too, aren't you? I know you said you missed a game or two because of a test or so.
Yep. I've played more games this year already than I did last year, and I'll be making more road trips. I'll be going to the Elmira road trip and Baton Rouge on January 2nd, but sometimes it just doesn't always work out with school, and Graham understands that, and I think with the ability that I bring to the table, I think that I can have a little leeway with them, and it's unfortunate, but I'm finishing my last 4 classes here this next semester coming up, and I'll be graduating in April and done from there. So,
tell us what are you going to school for?
My major is operations management with a specialty in supply chain. So, like I said, 4 more classes and then all done from there. It's been a long time.
So how long are you planning on playing after you get your degree? Is that going to be it, or are you thinking a couple more years?
If I'm being honest, this is probably it for me. This is my last year. I think Port Huron, we have a good team, and I have a legitimate shot at a championship, and hopefully I can go out that way. But I'll probably announce my retirement after the season, and I just don't have the drive anymore. If I'm being honest, it sucks to say, but I just don't see myself playing much longer. I don't think I love it the way I used to, but it is what it is. This is still fun for me and keeps that spark a little bit alive. But the only way I'd probably ever come back is if I have a kid brother. He's 19. He plays for Oakland University as well. If he could somehow manage to get his way on Port Huron, I would maybe come back out of retirement for a one-time brother game. But that's honestly about it. If that's it for me.
Well, as a fan, we'll miss you. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
I appreciate it, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, and congrats on almost being done. That's fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been going to school for a long time. Probably pushed it off too long, but time to get her done.
So we have a new segment that we're introducing this week. We're gonna kind of use Gino as our little guinea pig, and
Hell
the name
yeah.
of the segment is called Chirp or Turtle. So we're gonna kind of rapid fire some questions. Give the first teammate or former teammate that comes to mind, and if you don't want to answer, you just say you're gonna turtle.
All right. I'm excited. This is
Okay, so what teammate, who thinks they're the funniest one in the room, but they're not?
ooh, Sam Merritt.
All right. Who is most likely to wake up with a half-eaten burrito in their bed?
Ooh, probably go with Joe Devney.
Who always greets you with an insult?
Definitely probably Coach or Alex Johnson for sure.
I'm not surprised by that answer.
Yeah.
No. And who is most likely to take a popcorn bucket out of the trash at the theater for free popcorn?
Oh man. You know what? I'm gonna turtle on that one. I'm gonna turtle on that one. I got a couple guys in mind, but I'm gonna turtle on that one.
Yeah. And who would chirp their own mother?
Who would chirp their own mother? Probably Alex Johnson, honestly. He would chirp his own mother.
Okay.
He's pretty ruthless with the chirps. Me and him go back and forth quite a bit. So
Annie, you got some?
Yeah, I've got a few. Okay, so who fucking loves Christmas?
who loves Christmas? I'm gonna go with Alex Johnson again. He is the party planner. He's the one that gets the secret Santas and the white elephants all set up and the Christmas sweaters designed. I think that kid loves Christmas.
Yeah, Port Huron killed those sweaters this season. I like.
Yeah, they were
I'm
cool.
telling
They were
you, the
cool.
talk on the Trash Talk page, fans from every single team were trying to get a hold of the pucks,
Yeah.
where they could order the sweaters. They were awesome.
Yep, they were cool.
I got the last puck.
Yeah, there you
by
go.
the way.
I know
I did. I was hoping for more, but I got to the stand and there was like only one left. I'm like, I guess I'm having the last one.
Yep.
I guess I wanted 3, but I
Yeah,
guess that one is
My
good.
mom-
One's better
One's
than
better than
none.
none.
my mom got 2 of them, and I told her, I was like, you better hurry up and go buy them because they're probably gonna go quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, go quick.
Who has a terrible nickname and what is it?
Terrible nickname. Probably Alex Johnson. A lot of guys call him Buzzcut Boy. For the reason being that he wanted to do, every team does a shootout at some point in the week for either some prize or some punishment of sorts. And when we were introducing a new thing, he wanted to do Buzzcut Boy, where you had to buzz your hair if you lost. And he was all adamant about it, and he actually ended up losing that day and then never buzzed his hair. So we call him Buzzcut Boy now.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Who has the strangest phobia?
Strangest phobia. I would say our captain. He's a pretty clean guy. Definitely a germaphobe for sure. So he's got some odd germ stuff that he stays away from.
Is that something you exploit?
No, I don't mess with the old guys, man. They've paid their dues long enough, so I refrain from ragging on him and do whatever he asks. So
And last question from me is thinks that they have swag but don't.
oh, thanks to the swag, I'm gonna have to go with Adam Heinzel again. I think that any player that's played with Europeans from overseas, they have a very distinct, odd style that they try to rock when it comes to suits or clothes. If you've ever played with Russians or any Eastern Europeans, they have weird style and they think that they look like the shit. So. They learn some funny stuff. A lot of Adidas tracksuits and stuff like that, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So,
Oh, geez.
That's funny.
So my question is, like, all right, then who would be the last of the party?
last of the party. We'll go with Dalton J. He's always a late shower. He's got the wife and the dogs now, so he doesn't have as much time for the boys anymore.
And who would you say has the messiest locker room, messiest
stall?
room that you've been to?
Messiest locker room I've been in, not messiest stall.
A stall, a locker room, or
Well,
wherever.
the locker rooms they're always pretty clean, but I would say the guy with the most disorganized stall I would say is man. Maybe our captain, just because he's got so much pre-workout and proteins and all kinds of stuff in his stall. I don't even know how he fits it all up there. So maybe him. He's got BioSteel and any drink imaginable. So definitely him.
All right, and who was somebody on the team that would laugh at anything, good or bad? Just someone that would laugh at anything.
Oh, I'm gonna go with my stallmate Daniel Chartrand. He's my sidekick. I'm pretty ruthless in the locker room. I'm always carving into guys, and he's always right there to crack up at anything I say just to get under somebody's skin. So I'm gonna go with him.
All right, and I got one last one. All right, who would you say that you've seen ate the strangest food on the road?
Strangest foods. Oh man, Larry Vartiainen. He eats some odd foods. He's a pretty clean eater. So he's always eating some bizarre foods. If you can imagine, some of them smell funny. So.
I got one kind of.
What was
kind
it?
of. I got one kind of freestyle. We had Parker Moscow on.
Yep.
He had a former teammate who his pregame ritual was eating the spiciest thing he could find.
Oh, God.
So, current
yes, I
or former
remember
teammate, who would you say has the weirdest pregame ritual?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Glenn Patterson. He was my captain in Elmira and a very dear friend of mine. Dustin Henry used to play with him too. If you want to talk about a superstitious person, I mean, you could know wherever he was going to be depending on the time of the day. That's how predictable he was. I mean, it got to the point where he had so many, like if he got a goal or a point and he did something that wasn't part of his routine, it was now part of his routine. I mean, this guy had so much stuff going on with so many different people. I don't even know how he kept track of it. You know, we passed the puck a certain way in warm-ups one time and he got a goal, and the next thing you know, we're doing it every single time in warm-up. And he's coming up to me like saying, "Oh, we got to do what you did in warm-ups," and I don't even remember it, but he remembered it. He is a very, very superstitious human being, like to the point where it freaked me out a little bit, if I'm being honest. But he was a good guy, so
Almost like a photogenic memory.
yeah, I know. It was, like I said, very, very bizarre, very detail oriented. He was hands down the most superstitious player. I mean, I'm talking like flicking the lights on, you know, a certain amount of times before he leaves the room, like almost OCD type superstition. It was, yeah, it's bizarre.
Do you have like a secret high five for everybody?
Everything, man. I mean, anything you could think of. The way he tapes his stick, where he set his stick, high fives with people, warm up superstitions, the way he drank a water bottle. I mean, it was all down to the exact detail. Anybody that's played with him knows exactly what I'm talking about. So shout out to you, Glenn, if you're listening.
Now, who would you say in your career is the biggest prankster?
Biggest prankster. Oh man, I'd say Johnny too. Honestly, he's messed with my equipment a couple times. He's always dicking around with other guys' equipment. He's got me with the old water cup under the helmet a couple times. You know, because I'm not always there every day with work and school, so sometimes I forget to check, and the next thing you know, I got water all over my chest. So
that's great. We appreciate you coming on today, Gino. This was great.
No, absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was great hanging out. Thank you for entertaining us with all our fun questions.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. No problem.
And thank you for answering the call when I sent you the message. I was like, I'll just send you a message, and you responded really quick, and that was really cool.
I appreciate you guys having me on. It means a lot. So you guys all have a good night and a good holiday, huh?
You too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, enjoy your holidays. Happy New Year.
All right, guys.
Good luck tomorrow. I won't see you, but good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys stay safe and warm up there in that storm.
Yeah, thank you. Will do.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye, Gino. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Gino. Another great episode in the bag. You know that. We appreciate him willing to be our guinea pig for our new segment. And I think we have a winner here. I think that's going to be a fun new segment for us to do, especially with some of the guys we have coming up. I have a feeling next week our guest Jay Croop, he's not going to hold back.
And I cannot wait. I've been waiting. This episode I'm very excited for.
Yeah, this is one of the ones I've been looking forward to since the beginning.
There you go. I had that pop there. Thank you, Gino, for coming. Sorry. Thank you for covering me there. My voice got caught for a second there. So thank you very much. I can't wait for Jay Croop neither. He's a pretty cool guy. I'm not a Section 110 person like you guys are and all that, but from what I see, he's a very personable guy that people love and like to associate with. So it's pretty cool that we'll see you next week on our show.
Yeah. So I do want to say something. This time of year, I've suffered with it. I'm sure, Anna, with what you've gone through with Dusty, Ed, losing a child. This time of year, there's a lot of depression in the world. Unfortunately, it took somebody from the hockey family, and I hope I get his name right, Abakar Kazbakov from the London Knights, reportedly committed suicide recently. And if you're feeling depressed this time of year, heck, shoot one of us a message. You know, I will gladly drop everything to talk to anybody, a fan, a friend, it doesn't matter. Talk to somebody. If you don't have somebody to talk to, I beg you, call the suicide hotline. It's completely free. Not exactly 988 on your cell phone. You can actually text that number as well.
Use
or
it.
they still have their 800 number, 1-800-273-8255. Don't let depression win.
Absolutely not.
I
It's too valuable.
There's always a solution other than suicide. Just talk to somebody. Talk to a friend. Hell, talk to a stranger on the street. Most people, I think, would listen. So this time of year, it's important. Call that number again, 988 on your cell phone. It's real simple. Suicide should not have to be a last resort. I know it's a huge epidemic.
I hope this can touch just one person, but you matter. If you feel like nobody around you thinks that, you fucking matter. And like Lee said, you can reach out to any of us. There's not one of us that would not be there to, whether we know you, never met you, first day, first time watcher, we don't care. Like you are not alone.
Yep. We're always listening. We're always there. Our boxes are always open for you. Use it. I'd rather you use it and then not use it and not see another day. You need to use that box, use that number, use whatever tool that you have at your discretion just to use it.
And I also wanted to
one day. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. It was going into I was going to mention that with the holidays and New Year's, suicide is super important, but I also want to remind everybody, like, please don't drink and drive. There's so many different options nowadays, especially on New Year's. You know, I know you want to go home, it's late, whatever. There's friends, there's family, there's Uber, Lyft. They're just really, I promise you can find a way. Don't get behind the wheel.
I know that locally there's a lot of programs. You know, there's local programs all over that are offering free rides on New Year's Eve. So find them, use them, save a life. If it's not your life, it's somebody else's. You know, just use the services that you have. You know, because we want you here tomorrow. That's the goal. We want you here tomorrow.
Exactly. So I want to bring up something a little bit happier. I had mentioned last week Ricky Gunn, who does our theme song. His grandmother was in the hospital. I am proud to report that she is out of the hospital and she is doing much better.
That's fantastic.
So anybody that sent out thoughts and prayers to Ricky and Grandma Gunn, thank you. She's doing much better.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that update.
Yeah, same here. That's good news.
Yeah. So we hate to end on a sad note. So
it's not a sad note. It's Happy New Year in a couple of days. Happy New Year, brand new year.
Yeah,
brand new.
Just a couple days away from a whole new year. You know,
baby new year, right?
New year, new start. You know, bring it on. You know,
and
I hate to say it, we had some shitty years the last couple of years. So let's put them in our rearview mirror and looks forward to clear skies.
And with that being said, we have a lot of exciting things coming up in the new year. So if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe to our channel. Share us with your friends or your family. We're going to have a lot of really, really cool things coming up. I don't want to give away too many spoilers or anything like that, but you're definitely, I promise you're going to want to stick around for what we have coming up soon.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Y'all need to remember our email address, 10-minute misconduct podcast@gmail.com. In a couple weeks, we're going to have a contest. So stay tuned for that. In about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be announcing it, and that's where you're going to send in your entries. And we got some pretty nice prizes from a couple of friends of the show. So we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to, again, a great new year. We got a lot going on. We're not going to say anything yet, but we may be going up to cowboy land here in a couple months. So take that for what it's worth. We've got some great surprises. We got some great guests coming up.
Hopefully not the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep. So again, don't forget next week we've got assistant captain of the River Dragons. You get the Beard, Jay Croop.
One of my favorite players. I can fear the Beard. Oh, I'm so pumped. I cannot even. Y'all are going to have to be like, Anna, shut up. We want to talk too, because I cannot wait. I just love Jay so much.
And there's going to be a room for the Beards. Lee, me, and Jay. A whole bunch of facial
Yeah,
hair.
you got
Wow.
Anna, you're gonna have to
Lucky
go to the
you.
costume store
I
and
know,
get you a
and
fake
you
beard.
know I will find one. I might just have to do that and just like casually just like sneak in real quick. Oh, weird. I love that.
Yeah, looking forward
That's
to that.
great.
Like I said, we got him coming up. We got the next few weeks. We're slam packed with great guests, and looking forward to a couple of our upcoming guests you saw last week in those videos. They're going to be on the show, so be prepared. We're hitting the ground running, guys.
Yes.
I also wanted to send some shout outs to some of our sponsors. We have Pred TV. Make sure you like and follow their pages on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. He exposes child predators, and he's working to try to get some legislation changed so we can make this a crime. So follow him. And then we also have the Chattahoochee Valley Warriors. They're a great organization that helps veterans get back into hockey or learn how to play hockey during retirement. And let's definitely not forget the Enchanted Coffee Co-op. They are absolutely amazing. Ed, do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about it?
Yeah. There's this guy named Ed that runs it. He's a really good guy. We basically have fresh coffee, freshly sourced coffee from all over the world. So if you want to come on along with us on a coffee adventure, strap up your seatbelts, grab your plane tickets, and let's go on a coffee adventure. We try coffee from all over the world. They're all freshly harvested and roasted. So come check us out. We'll probably have a link in the bio or whatever. Our awesome producer, Nerd Lee, does. But he's will take care of that. That is all for us. We hope you have a great New Year's. Drive safe. Enjoy it. May all your New Year's Day plans come true.
Yes, Happy New Year. We'll see everybody next year.
Yep. Happy New Year, guys. See you in 2023.
Even if you take a few licks on the chin, just keep your head down and carry on. You fight like hell, turn the other cheek. It's what separates the strong from the weak. And that's just the way that the line gets drawn. You gotta keep on living till the fight.